It's back. My Sterling Ink Pocket Horizontal Compact Full Year Common Planner for 2026 has been modified so that I can use it in the case that has caused me all kinds of trouble with getting a planner to fit. So I would love to take you through how I have it working beautifully for me in the week section. I still have my gold edges, which was like a huge part of the problem in being able to make this work out. I did also find a gold pen that actually fits this tiny little loop and is also gold. That was from the Black Friday sales. I had been looking at this Levenger pen for a while, but it was $40 for a ballpoint, and they call it a Walletini pen. So it just twists. It actually has a nice, writing feel. It's just a black pen. And it came gift boxed, so I do have a friend who loves wallet pens. So this is the old one I had, which I don't really care for mixed metals, and this was a Pilot Birdie that I got on Amazon. It does also fit in the slot, which is the loop, which is hard to find. It's super thin, but this one here is right at home with all the gold to match the hardware. So I'm happy to have found that. And it's really nice to have that on the fly. Next year, it was hard to kind of see if this was going to work, so I didn't try too much. But next year, if I stay in this size, I would improve it by getting a gold comb if they have one for the spiral. This is a special edition vintage planner that has a strange kind of, well, it's useful because it makes more space available, but it has this little spike that you use to place your book. Yeah, and then I have my cards in here. I'm actually using a Sterling Ink. The freebies come in this little envelope that actually perfectly fits my credit cards, my driver's license. So I've got that tucked in the back. What I had to do was the spiral doesn't go the whole way because the size of this pocket, it's exactly the right size to fit inside the cover. I didn't have to trim anything top or bottom, which was nice. If I was going to tuck it into this slot, I would have had to trim at least the back cover because this does not fit. It does not fit. So I was reluctant to do that, but I could have gotten away with the back cover. But once it's pushed forward, it was pushing into the pen. It was pushing on this comb here, and I was worried it was going to damage the book, and it was getting hard to close. So I really love this clip. And so I suddenly realized that this might be able to be cut down from this side, thereby preserving all the gold foil. And because of the horizontal layout, it didn't affect the weeks. I've put in some entries. I'm using this for my school kind of events, and then this is for note-taking or for church. And then I did find one little sad thing was I think I have a bad batch of paper, and if it's going to happen to any of my books, I'm really glad it's in the everyday carry where I'm often using a ballpoint anyway, which seems kind of ridiculous on Tomoe River paper. But these are 3 that didn't bleed, so I wrote them in. You can see, you know what, it's not great, but these are the best of the bunch. There's Ghosting. I feel like the Pelican Brilliant Black is just almost wanting to. It's very different than, and you can see here, this was Diatramentus Olive. Oh, no, sorry, it's Green Gray. That one, I feel that's bleeding, and it's definitely very different. I can compare it to some writing I've done in a different 2026 planner. So this is my complete planner. I'm just going to find a page with that. So this is a page written in the same pen and the same ink rather, and you can see the reverse side. That's the reverse side, and I think that's a lot better than this. I think it becomes kind of pronounced, that you can see the difference there. Same pen. So yeah, it's a bit sad, but I have heard of this happening, and I've been very lucky not to have it. I would be pretty sad if it was my memory keeper. And you know, this was another pen that I've used a lot. This is Platinum Carbon Black, which normally I don't have any trouble with. In fact, I'm using it almost exclusively in my weeklies. I'm just trying to see if I can find a page to demonstrate that. This is a page that I'm just in the middle of writing, and you can see this is all the same pen, Platinum Carbon Black. And then if I'm to turn that over, you can see that where I've written the temperature just above the grid line here, and we turn that over, you can see it's not coming through, whereas the comparison is here. I feel that is worse. I feel like that's just bleeding there, and that's not the marker. I think that's the marker for the middle of the page, but that is not. So yeah, it's a pity. It's a pity. So yeah, going through Platinum Carbon Black, and then this is Mont Blanc Permanent Blue, which did much better, so I had gone in and used that instead. And I thought it was interesting that that's a similar color, very similar to this Diamine Indigo Blue Indigo. I might be reversing that, but that didn't do well, even though it's in the same series as, and this is the Mont Blanc again, the Diamine Skyline Blue, which seems to be holding up better. This was where I tested the Mont Blanc Permanent Blue and found that it was doing well. This is the Skyline, and now, even though I felt that it was doing better, when I look at it, I feel it's possible that it's not as great. I think the Mont Blanc is doing a lot better. So I mention all this just because I'm planning to just use pens that cope well, and I can do that in an everyday carry. It's not gonna, you know, I can adjust and accommodate. I'm just looking to see, yeah, I do have a page here. So you can see all of the reverse side of this is either Diamine Blue or I had Octopus Fluids in the pen, but you can see I've written 1126 St. Grandparents Julie, and then on the back, I think that's coped a lot better than, is this the Skyline? Yeah, I had considered Skyline to be doing well, but you can see, I feel like you can see it through there a lot more. So I want to say the paper almost feels different. I don't know, like when I'm putting it up against here, it almost looks like a different color, but it could be just, I don't think I'm comparing like with like. But to me, it even feels like a little thinner. I don't know. I'm not sure. This is very, you know, just a basic, you know, assessment. I'm not doing any kind of scientific. This is not scientific at all. So this is just what I feel. So this was the Mont Blanc that was working well. And then this was a sad one. This one definitely went through. And this is Diatramentus Violet. The rest is Mont Blanc. So again, that one I have used so much in my Tomoe River, and it doesn't cause problems. And that one's definitely bled through. So it's not even a question. Let's see here. I'm just trying to see if I've got an example. Yeah, I do. I'm just going to have to grab my little blotter sheet. Okay. So, okay. So you can see just here, I've written in, here on Monday, the whole column is actually the same, Diatramentus. And then when I turn the page here, you can see that that has done very well compared to that, and that's this column right here. This is a comparison, so they're very different. So yeah, I'm just grateful that I know the company has no control over this. It must be super frustrating for them, because despite all of their best efforts, you know, this is happening. Yeah, I feel that the skyline's not so great, so I think I'll scratch that off my list. And then the rest, yeah, I didn't go any further. I was just using the Mont Blanc after that. So yeah, it's a little bit of a pity. So where did I put that page? The point of this was just to show that, yeah, it's very usable. The pocket size now, I'm really happy that, you know, I love a bound book, but this will give me the ability to kind of remove pages as the weeks go by, because that will keep the profile small. I was using this is a Coach spiral. It was $15, very inexpensive. I was using it, but the and it started early, but the problem was it's just very the layout is lacking. It's just, you know, this is so elegant and beautiful, and I love it, and it's so functional too, to be able to have that notes page. I definitely miss the notes page. Not that I'm, you know, writing so much in it, but it's so nice to have that there when I need it, and also to have spare notes pages. And that's the other place that this is going to be handy, because I had purchased something, one of these little Hobonichi books to that have perforations, but now I'll be able to just tear out very easily notes pages if I need to hand something to someone. So I've consolidated that, and I'm glad that I got to use this and get the idea of being able to switch this one, know that it was working. I actually gave them at FedEx, they cut it down for me, and I gave them this book, and I explained it to them, and they were able to understand that I wanted this form factor, and they used the length of the comb to match it to this one. Next year I would probably just get them to, I would want one more, and I'll measure it out for them. Now I know how it works. I didn't know how the whole thing works. I would love if it was one more, because it'll kind of sit better on the little clip. But I'm really happy with this. So I get to use my sterling ink. I get to, you know, cut my cake and eat it too. So yeah, it's nice. And the other thing I meant to show was that it's a smaller form factor, which is really cool, because I get so many more pages. I mean, I can't believe there's like 120 pages in here. But you can see that apart from the very obvious difference, which I prefer the gold edges with this gold hardware, yeah, it's actually thicker, and I didn't have I had like 3 notes pages, or, you know, the usual number, and here I'm getting 120, you know, 119 here, 120 there. It's really amazing. So, and to be able to, you know, if this fluffs up too much, to be able to rip out the pages to keep it small, and it's like kind of not a heavy spine pressing against there, and it's just the comb, and it's being used as it was designed. I really love that, and I've got my little pen that matches, and everything's gold. So really, really happy. I use this in my everyday. FedEx charged a very minimal amount. I kept the receipt, but it was the cut. They charged me $1.75. The coil and no cover was $4.04, and then I think this is some kind of surcharge, $2.50, just for the staff member having to kind of, they had to take me aside from the front, and totally worth it. I mean, I would add it to the cost of this, and then technically the way I think about planners, I'm kind of wasting this one. I can kind of repurpose it, but for $15, it's how much I spend at Starbucks often. I'm kind of in my head including the cost of this wasted one into this, because that's what I needed to do to get this to work. So technically, you know, I'm adding that in. The very last thing I might do is add some tabs, because I think I have the space, and it will make this more functional. So I have these plain ones that I got this year, and they would just, you would put them, I haven't used tabs, I have to admit, but you would put them over the relevant date, and they've kind of already pre-marked them out in a nice spacing. I also bought the sticker set January to December in 2024, I guess, or I might have bought it. Yeah, it was 2024, I believe. And I never used them, but you do get a nice, I think you get 4. There's 4 here. Is it 4 or 2? Maybe it's 2. No, it's 4. Yeah. So some are floral, some are just plain. And I think this is what the subscription members get. I've never been on the subscription, but yeah, I've got to decide whether I want plain or, in which case I'll just use that, or if I want floral. And then I'm just going to think about it because I want to use it first and make sure that that's going to be useful before I add to it, because I do like I think it's going to change the look of the gold, and I like that, and I don't know how often I'll need to flick into something, and it's pretty quick to flick through your planner and find the right date. But I love that because the way this is designed, cutting in really didn't cut out functional space. I have, next year I might cut more so I don't see that week that's cut off. It just says the week number, but it's really so minimal to me. And then monthlies I'm not using in this one, but the monthlies were obviously cut off. You technically kept the days, but the dates here are cut off. So, and then the front pages are largely the way I've had it cut. I think this has remarkably been retained. I was thinking about using this for future planning for new appointments. If I don't use the monthlies, because the monthlies I'm really not using, but for 2027, putting in appointments so that I have them there ready to go. This is fine because it really just cut the end of it. And then I think, so that's the quarterlies. The yearly tracker was affected. Let's see here, May, June, July. So that has been affected. I really don't use it here. And same with the goals, which I don't use. They're just cut off. So yeah, really happy with that. There is a little bit of friction because the comb doesn't go all the way down or all the way up. But that's something I can deal with, and it's my on-the-go planner that I still get to enjoy. A design I love, and it's a big upgrade for me from here. So hope you're having a nice start to the year. I hope that when you've been trialing or moving in early to planners and being able to pivot or adjust, it's been working well, because I'm really glad that I was able to figure this out in January by the 2nd week. So I only missed 1 week of using this system, and I'm really thrilled that I didn't sell it. I did try also a Hermes spiral. It was very, very small. It was probably that tall. It cost $100. I saw a lot of people complaining about the cost of the inserts, and I returned it. So I had filmed an unboxing, but I didn't publish it because I don't want to publish things that I return. It wasn't the right size, and also it was really not worth the cost. And it had silver foil. Louis Vuitton apparently used to make these coil bound agendas, which would have made my life a lot easier. But I guess one thing with discontinued products is they no longer have a need. And I do understand they no longer use gold edging. They don't. They used to have gilded edges on their planners, and slowly things are getting wound back. So yes, thank you for watching today, and I'll keep you posted on how things go. Bye.